televiewers, you are welcome to this special edition of Interview, where we have come to meet a gentle lady whom we like to know her detailedly, and from her dressing, you can identify her yourself, that she's an African. She has dressed in the African culture. Madam, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, can we know you better?
My name is Susan Kathleen Tebong. I was born in London, England, but I grew up in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I went to study nursing in the States, and that's where I met my husband-to-be, Dr. Emmanuel Do Tebong. Then I came to Cameroon in 1975. We got married, and I started my life with him. I had 6 kids, 5 boys and a girl. And since I was in the medical profession, I did nursing. I worked in the Bamenda Nursing and Midwifery School and in Enisfe in Yaoundé, and I ended up in the district hospital in BATIBO, where I was chief of bureau for health. And I worked there until I retired in 2005. In 1990, my husband started a school called Jomat College of Technology, and I ran that school for 16 years until it became no longer viable. So I was pretty busy with the school and with my job and with my kids after he died, yeah. My husband died in 1991, and I just decided to stay here, and I'm enjoying my retirement here. And now I am retired. I'm retired, and I'm enjoying it in my little heaven here in Batibo.
Wow. Madam, we're happy to hear that from you, and thanks you for opening us the door for this interview. Madam, many people are shy from marrying out of MOGHAMO because of this. They claim that in their absence, their women will run away. How comfortable are you with this claim?
Well, people marry for different reasons, many different reasons. Some people marry for money, some people marry for convenience, some people marry for property, some people want to just have a husband, and then some people marry for love. And I married my husband because I loved him. And that's what made me stay with him and even stay here in Batibo. I loved my husband, and even though after we got married, things were not always as wonderful as they were at the beginning, as is with most marriages, but because I loved him and I loved my children, we stayed together until, we would have stayed together right till now if he had been alive. I've noticed that many husbands, after their wives have their first child, many of them become unfaithful. And my husband was no exception. And so that hurt me a lot. However, because I loved my kids so much and I loved him, I stayed with him and we managed to live our lives together fairly happily.
Thank you very much, madam. For how long have you been in marriage, and what is the secret behind it?
I've been in marriage for 16 years, from 75 when I arrived, because we got married here in Cameroon, about 6 months after I arrived. And we were married until he died in 1991. At that time, I was 41 years old. My kids were still small. The last one was 3 years old. The first one was 15. And I had the school. So I was pretty busy after he died. But what kept me going all this time is just my faith in God and how God helped me. Because without the help of God, I don't think I could have made it through. When things were tough, okay, he was there. And he saw me through everything. And he made me, I feel, to be successful because I was happy. And to me, that is what is being successful.
Oh, so you are telling us that the secret behind this your length of time that you are in marital home is God.
Yes, definitely.
So
Yes.
everyone should put faith and trust in God.
Yes, if they can.
And everything will be possible.
Yes, it makes things go much better and things turn out for the best in the end. Yes.
Thank you, madam. I hope many others will copy this good example. Yes, madam, you have been a MOGHAMO woman, Mokuda member, etc. What advice do you have for the MOGHAMO people, especially the women?
There are many, many things I could talk about. Let me start with the family life first. The husband is very important in the home. In order to give organization to the family, he's usually the head of the family, and that creates some kind of order in the family. However, the husband needs to be respectful of the wife and of the children. I have noticed that around here, the children are not really respected, or especially when they are very young. The parents beat them very often, and that makes them to lose their self-confidence. Because what I believe parents can do for their children is to give them self-confidence, to give them education, and to give them health. If they have those three things, then they can go through life successfully. And so those first 5 years of the child's life are so important. The father needs to be there to give guidance. The mother needs to be there to give love and comfort and sympathy. A man needs to remember that his wife is not his chattel, even though he pays a bride price. She is an equal in the eyes of God. She carries blood in her body just like he has blood. So he should not be beating her or treating her badly. When he does that, he's the one who's also losing because he too is unhappy. So the best thing a man can do is keep harmony in the home. Of course, the wife has her own part to play in this. If she can also help to keep harmony in the home, everybody will be happy and life will go on. Naturally, people will always have disagreements, but there are ways to solve disagreements without beating, without shouting, without making the other person feel that he is nothing. So respect is very important.
Thank you, madam.
On to education. It is the parents' duty to give the children their education. The mother should contribute as well as the father. Because after all, it is their children. The children did not ask to be born, and therefore it is their duty. And the parents should not educate their children just with the aim that when they are old, the children will take care of them. Yes, in the African culture, the children will always take care of their parents, but that should not be the aim of the education. The education should be because you want your child to fulfill his best potential in life in order to be happy. The point I have is that women should make sure that they get their marriage certificates when they are joining with a man. Because when they're in this come we stay marriage, it is very difficult. The man at any time can decide to leave them and their children, and they're just left there. No matter how much they have put in, they may have worked, they may have spent their money building a house, they may have even helped to educate their children and joined in projects. But if the man decides one day he doesn't want the lady anymore, she's just lost. She has lost everything. Legally, she cannot be covered. So it is very important that the women should have a marriage certificate. Even a polygamous marriage certificate is better than no marriage certificate. And the women should always try to be educated before they go into marriage. And that way they can have a job and be joint. They can have like some economic contribution with the man. For him to be doing everything for her, it makes for a very unequal marriage, and that's not very good. Health-wise, the two partners should be able to know their status at all times. These days, there is that HIV virus going around. And because of treatment, you will never know who is HIV positive or who is negative. So the wife and the husband both should be checking each other, checking themselves, and they should be truthful to each other, because after all, their children will be in the lurch if one of them dies because of no treatment. So it's very important they should always know their status. Concerning self-medication, it is not good for people to go and buy their medicines on the road in those small little places that sell medicines on the road, because many of those medications are Nigerian medications that 50% of it is cassava. And then you think you are getting treatment and you're not getting treatment, and your disease is getting worse. So please go to the right places to buy your medicines. Don't buy them on the streets.
For all this time that you have been enjoying the marriagehood, how do you compare the two with your country of origin?
Marriage in the Western society is quite different from the marriage in African society. I would say that love plays a greater part in marriage in the Western society. And when that love is not there, when the immaturity sets in, there is divorce. And it is easy to get divorced, and children grow up with a single parent. That is quite common in the Western society. In the African society, divorce is much more difficult to come by. Marriage is quite a difficult thing to do, as it is two people learning to live together. But when the two people come from two different cultures, it becomes even more difficult, because each one has a set of values that is different from the other. So, for example, in Western society, the value of faithfulness is so much more important, both in the man and in the woman, than it is in the African society. In the African society, the women are already having a mindset that the husband will go out on them. And the men, they think it is fine to go out and have a girlfriend somewhere else or get another wife. So it is two different mindsets, and it's difficult. So I would not advise people to marry from two cultures unless they are exceptional in some ways. In the Western society, the woman is much more protected than the man. If the man beats his wife, the police will come right away and he will go to jail. If a man beats his wife in the African society, even if she wants to go to court, it will take years before she will have any chance at all, and nobody will look at it as anything serious. So she's more protected than in the Western society than in the African society.
So, so you are telling us that in the Western society, women are protected. In Africa,
they are more protected in the Western society than in the African society.
Okay, Madam, well, thank you very much. Right now that you have opportunity to talk with us, in your absence, Madam, what do you have for your descendants?
I will tell my children that they should never forget their roots, that their roots come from Africa, from their father. So they should never forget BATIBO. I will want them to always have brotherly love and unity amongst them. To me, that is so important. They should always care for each other and share with each other. I will also want them to love God and put God first in their lives, because that's how you get through all the difficult times.
Thank you. Yeah, on this type of joyful day, extend your greetings to some of the people that you know, maybe to the whole world. Let us hear.
Thank you. Well, I wish to greet all my kids and all the MOGHAMO people in America and here in BATIBO. I will not name names because there are too many to mention.
Madam, thank you very much.
Mbuchari beyi MOGHAMO ijimjim.
Yeah.
Chugiane borebot.
Tenaya kanemo.